all performed in public, but I do believe out of the three of us, one of us is probably going to have a better story than everybody else. But Daddy Body, tell me a story of what's one of the most memorable things you've experienced while performing live.
I have three. Well, two of them are the same event, and then one was just most recently. So I do stand-up comedy, as I've said before. I've only done it 6 times, but in New Orleans, I had the pleasure of having 2 of my 5 children in the audience. And of course, when I have somebody in the audience, I build a bit around them. And my one particular bit was for Nick, who is our oldest male in our brood of children. Who has never dated before in his life. So I did an entire bit. He's the FAFO kid. He's the one that I pick on all the time. He actually lives at home. He just got out of the Navy and he's coming back to college. And so I made a bit about how he's never dated, and I made some jokes about it. And come to find out, there was a girl who saw the video of me talking about him never dating before, who was actually in the crowd to meet him. She literally came to the show just to meet Nick.
Okay.
And
that could be good. That could be bad.
It was awesome because he was so like ghost white cringe. Like you just saw the cringe when this girl stood up and she was like
25. Was he?
Yeah, he's 25.
Yeah.
And she was there, waving, "I'm here to meet Nick." And it was hilarious. It was awesome. That's one of the best days of my life. In that same breath, my youngest male kid was also in the audience. And I did a little bit of Matt Rife kind of crowd work, and I got to pick on him from the front row, because I picked on him and I said, "Hey, how you feeling today, young man?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, I feel good." And I was like, "Did anything hurt when you woke up?" And he was like, No, everything felt great." I said, "Good. Remember that, because when you get to this age, you're not going to be saying that when you wake up." The crowd, of course, they were like,
"Yeah, right."
It was great.
Yeah, don't sleep funny.
Yeah, don't sleep funny
for a week.
Don't sleep funny. You may lose your arm. For a good period of your morning. The other one was most recently, my ex-wife was at one of my shows. And this is a great story. We're good friends. Okay. So there's no bad blood there. We're actually good friends, but she's in her 40s. And she has a younger, or she had a younger boyfriend. And most of my bit is about FAFO, effing around and finding out. And so instead of picking on my kids in this bit in St. Louis, I picked on her in the crowd about the fact that she's in her 40s and she just had another set of kids. And I said, she literally FAFO'd. So that's what I do. If you're going to my comedy show and I know you, I'm probably going to pick on you.
I was looking at your tour dates. Either you've already played Atlanta or you're not coming to Atlanta. So
we already played. Atlanta was one of our smaller shows, but we will be coming back to Atlanta because that is Sherry's hometown, and we did the Atlanta Comedy Theater. It was only 350 seats, and now we're doing 2,500 seat venue. So we'll be coming back for a big show here.
Yeah, there's some good places that you could do that at.
Joe, we should get them to come down for Comedy for a Cause at Dragon Con that they do every year.
If I could get Damon to listen to me, the guy who runs that particular show, he's a comedian in Atlanta, and he just has a very strong mindset of what he wants. I'm like, I know funny people that will really put asses in seats. Let me bring them in for you. And
we can do that. They're going to be older butts, but they'll be in the seats.
Look, Dragon Con's for everybody. It definitely ranges. You'll find your people at Dragon Con.
But speaking of Dragon Con, because that was one of my first live shows that I did. The first one that stands out to me as being memorable was when we were doing Pokemon Go podcast, and we had those shirts.
No, come on.
Yes. Yeah.
Always tell this story. All right, it's not just a shirt. The shirt is balled up into a tight rubber banded,
very tight
cannon of a shirt. Yes.
So we brought several of them to give out to audience members, and there's this little kid in the audience, and he's being a little kid, and he is being.
His parent was not helicoptering enough.
He was a little butt face. But I can't remember what the precipice was to this, but you decided to give him a shirt, and you wind up, and you didn't throw it especially hard.
No. It was the semi behind him.
Okay, so you just missed.
Yes.
And it nails this kid in the chest,
and he's looking down playing Pokemon Go.
And you hear this solid thud, just bam, right in the chest. And the crowd was like, you okay, kid? But
and so we gave him a shirt too afterwards. But
yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, and that halfway during that show, I was like, "Where are your parents, kid?"
But I mean, as annoying as he was still pretty cute at different times. Like afterwards, he came up and he was trying to show us his Pokemon card collection and things like that. And so, he was just being a typical kid, having fun and whatnot. It was just,
I was
that was one of the early experiences that I think of,
and of course,
doing a live show,
having a trusting and weathered performance partner to my left. The first thing he did was throw me under the bus and said I did it on purpose, and he kept hammering that in. Like, of course, no, you can't say that because this kid is like 8 and I'm not 8, so stop saying I hit him in the face on purpose.
He's a teenager now. He's probably a lot more annoying.
Yeah, probably. I got a few different ones, but talking about your kids in the audience. Did you let the audience know that was your kid, or is it just some kid in the audience?
Yeah, when I was done, I let them know. Not when I was doing it. No, heck no. That would ruin the joke.
My humor is very aggressive, not a little aggressive, very aggressive when I do crowd work. And I was developing a game show that I do now, but at the time I had a partner, and we'd split the audience. Well, my kids, I had 2 of them at the time with me then, and I think Rylan was like 8 or something. And he decided, of course, I'm going to be on this guy's team instead of your team, Dad. But nobody knew he was my kid. And so that's what I do. I'm always the bad guy, right? If I have a partner, there's always a good guy. Joe's the good guy. I'm always the bad guy.
You hit little kids with shirts.
Yeah, sure. but so we like put the guests in the middle, just so devil, angel, shoulders. That's how if you didn't pick up on it. But I'm like just riding. And I don't remember what I said about him, but I said something, and I lost the crowd. Like they're like, oh, I mean, like not a ooh, oh, it's like a bad. I was like, oh yeah, where's your parents? And he goes, I give my kid credit. I go, because I was like, I'll burn this to the ground. I don't care. Where are your parents? I can't believe somebody would just let you loose to this kind of show. He goes, I don't know. My dad went out for milk and he never came back. And the crowd, and he goes, well, I came here to meet you, Dad. How are you doing? I was like, oh my God. You cannot tell better jokes than me.
Yes.
At my own show.
Yes.
Yeah, he got me. It was good.
You got upstaged.
I did. So, man, life performing can be a blast. It can definitely be tough, but it's a lot of fun. And John, would you still build on that? I know you talked about doing the tour you're doing now, but would you live that life of just town to town to town?
Yeah, totally. I mean, my kids are all grown and gone, and so given the opportunity and the time to do it, 100%.
Nice.
My companions, they all have young kids, so they're a little still attached. So we're going to do the old person tour for a while, but if we get to the point where they're all gone or they've got a comfortable situation at home, I think that they would do it as well too, because like I said, we're in our 40s. Sherry, being the oldest, is in her 50s. We're not going to be around forever, so let's ride this rocket until it hits whatever planet it's going to. That's kind of our mentality. We actually have a bet right now that if we ever play Madison Square Gardens, we are all going to get the Gen X Takeover logo tattooed on our butt. And we're going to do content with it. We're going to get our tattoos all at the same time and do content with it. So that's our vision of this Gen X Takeover, where we think it can go. And as of this moment, I don't see why that wouldn't happen. So
that's awesome, dude. Yeah.
If the audience keeps showing up like they have been, and we keep growing the way we are, I'm scared. I'm scared of what this thing could be.
Hold on tight. It's like water skiing.
It's exactly that's what all of our talent people and our agents and all these people that are surrounding us, they're like, this doesn't happen. This doesn't grow as fast as it's growing. You shouldn't be where you're at, but you guys need to just hold on, because this thing is going somewhere. and get ready. And that's kind
That's
of what we've
great.
been doing.
And where can we get tickets again?
GenXTakeover.com, just as it sounds. GenXTakeover, one word.com.
And for everything else, it's Dadbod Veteran across.
Dadbod Veteran. And if you want to get to my merch store, it's linked in any of my socials. You can get these hats, you can get these shirts, you can get the rest of my merch there. Support the cause, and I greatly appreciate it.
I just noticed your hats. That's say Only Dads.
Yeah, Only Dads. This
I
is my
love
prototype.
it.
I've got that Only
Joe,
Dads
how did
hat.
we not think of that for our show? Come on.
Only Dads. Oh yeah, with the sexy.
Yeah, you
dad
got
out
that
there.
fat guy
The
leaning back.
sexy dad. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not a fat guy. It's a dad bod.
It's a
It's a
dad
dad
bod.
bod,
It's not
yeah.
a dad bod. Yeah, it's
The,
not a
the
dad
mud
It's,
flap
it's, a, it's a
dad.
father figure.
bod. That's right.
Oh my God. Joe. Stop it.
And it's not a bald spot. It's a solar panel for a sex machine.
I used to teach my kids when they were little out in public. It drove my wife crazy. Made her laugh, but drove her crazy. Just in some appropriate, some not so appropriate times, like, who am I? And like, Dad, don't make us do this. Like, who am I? You're the sexy beast. I'm like, that's right. That's right. That's who I am. So dumb.